Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. We're here at Sensi6 in New York City, a benefit for Leket Israel. Let's take a closer look. There's so many events in New York City, and this event is really unique. You bring together art, culture, and all for an important cause. Why did you create this organization?
I think we created this organization because we felt that there was a need, that people would go to charity events and would leave not having any idea of what they actually gave to or feeling stimulated in the slightest bit. We wanted to make people feel something, and I think we tried to create that through a multi-sensory experience. Hopefully they'll leave here knowing A, what they gave to, and B, feeling uplifted.
And how do you pick what charity to give to?
So this year we actually did it a little differently than we've done it in the past. We have a formal survey process whereby the different organizations that are interested in having a Sensi event dedicated to them apply. We ask very pointed questions about their overhead, their operations, their cause, their mission, and then we basically deliberate on it and decide.
We like to choose organizations that we feel we can really make a difference with. So if an organization has a pre-existing committee that plans events for them and kind of has that support system already in place, we wouldn't think of choosing them because they don't need it as much. We choose organizations that the amount of money raised at a single event and the amount of awareness raised at a single event will actually make a difference for them.
And the arts and culture is an important part, especially in New York City, and you have so much incredible art around. How do you pick which artists and how do you get it all together?
Well, we have amazing curators and we work with very, very talented people that donate their time to our events and they help us choose the art. Through our connections, through their connections, we really find amazing people who are willing to give their art fully to the cause so that the organization makes the most money possible. And really the curators decide at the end who makes the cut.
We also like to build the curatorial kind of work around the organization that we've chosen. So this year we chose an Israeli organization and we specifically sought out Israeli artists to feature at our auction.
Last event was an organization based in Argentina, so we had Argentinian art. Every year, whether it's the food or the wine or the art piece, there's always something related to the organization.
And you literally had hundreds of young professionals here. And you know,
Just young professionals.
it's true.
We had a multi-aged event, I guess an ageist event, because we employ a Peter Pan crowd, which is an ageless crowd. Anybody who wants to come can come as long as they feel they will enjoy it.
And you know, when you're promoting these events, you know, and getting the word out, everyone has their own unique way. How did you actually get everyone to come out?
You know, we really don't do anything. You know, we just have our very strong following. We use the very basic, social media, email blasts. We don't pay for any advertisements. It's all through our networks and our hosting committee.
And where can people learn more about your organization?
Sensi6.org.
Well, thank you so much. Start up an organization. You don't know exactly how it's going to grow and affect your community. Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Leket Israel got started kind of on a whim. I was living in Israel for 3 years with my wife and kids, and I got very concerned by the growing poverty situation. And I just decided to take a couple months off from work to investigate the issue. And what I found was that there was so little food being donated to charities. And Israel's a Western country with lots of food. And we've all seen the waste, as we do here. And I just couldn't believe it. And I just started going out at night, picking up leftover food. And what started as a small operation, a small idea, has just exploded and allowed us to really feed a lot of people.
Selecting the art, we really tried to have pieces that connected to Leket, to nature, to what it is to be in touch with that side of yourself, and I really think that most of the pieces here sort of represent that and symbolize that in some way. And we worked with the artists to pull that out in the pieces that they gave. So
there's a great story about one of them, which I thought was really impressive. Tell us a little bit about that story.
About Aaron Gluska's piece?
Yeah.
So Aaron, who's just a fantastic artist and such a good soul when you meet him, he at first was going to give us us a piece that was beautiful, but it was small. And so Danielle and I were standing in a studio, and we said, something that small is beautiful, but it can only get us so far. Would you be willing to really sort of push the envelope and give us something a little bigger? And he said, you know what? Yeah, I don't know what I want to give. I'm not sure. Artists are very shy about what they think can sell. And so he invited us to go out to his studio space and to just look through his art, which most artists really don't let you do, and it's not something they're excited about. And he was just said, so go ahead. And he really, really trusted Daniela and what she was doing, and said, go ahead and choose what you want. So we go to this huge storage space out in New Jersey, and we see all of these pieces cataloged and really in order. And we find this one piece that we're both just blown away. It's breathtaking. It's dark, but it's beautiful. It's sensual. And so Danielle immediately says we have to take it. And I'm a little nervous because I, usually represent the artist, and I'm like, oh no, we should check, we should do this. And Danielle says, we'll send him a JPEG. We call him, he says, anything you want, I trust you. So Danielle later that night sent him the JPEG, and she tells me that he called her then and said, Daniela, you chose that piece?
Really?
And she says, yeah, what, is this a problem? We chose other ones, the smaller one, And he says, well, this piece has been in my personal collection for years. I never wanted to sell it. $60,000 were offered to me multiple times to sell, and I don't want to sell it. So of course Danielle said, listen, we don't want to cause problems, we can give it back. And he said, you know what, it's a great cause, I'm ready to give it to you as long as it sells for a certain amount to sort of do the piece justice. And it was really important for him because it's from this time where he stopped really wrestling with the Holocaust so much, which is what a lot of his art was about, and started to open up. And it's called The Turning Point, which I think is really a beautiful name for the piece, and the flower in it is a symbol of hope, which I thought was also great for Leket in terms of the nature.
Images and meanings.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what we have behind us and how you got into doing what you do.
Sure. Well, my artwork in general is a real expression of the human experience. And as we know, the human experience is very complex and has many different layers and different aspects and colors and textures. And so I really aim to express the human soul and the richness and the depth of what it is to be a Jewish woman and a human being on earth in my paintings. And so in this piece, although the subject matter is somewhat different, through the use of very rich color, texture, and an enormous amount of expression, I create really a world within the walls of the canvas.
And looking at the canvas, there's a lot of, it's not just images that are popping out. I see these words. How do you pick the words that are embedded in your artwork?
Sure. Well, when I begin a painting, I always have a goal, something that I really want to express, an idea that I want to bring to fruition. So I believe that even in a painting, anything goes. It can be paint, it could be nails, it could be Hebrew newspapers, and certainly words. So it's really mixing of all of the different venues of expression. And so in these pieces specifically, this piece says Liot Chofshi, to be free. And the whole piece is really about freedom and breaking out of that which constrains us into a world that is very, very free. So those words obviously hook into the theme.
Sure. And how did you get started?
I studied art at Boston University, and prior to that was always very, very interested in the arts. And when I was in school, I became represented by a large gallery in Boston on Newbury Street, and that was the beginning. And then very quickly became very involved and represented by a number of museums and galleries worldwide.
And where can people learn more about your art?
I have an art studio in Manhattan. My website is rebecarts.com, and I am represented by many galleries, both in Manhattan and Israel and all over the world. So if you look on my website, you can find more information.
Great, thank you so much. As you can see, it was a fantastic event. This is Aaron Herman, and thank you for watching.